Welcome to another edition of the Willy Bragg Show. I am back. I kept delaying this video because life. It seems to keep happening to me. So I decided to make a video. I was going to do it at 5:30, but I had stuff happening and I wasn't going to do this evening. So there was that. And I had to go and take a quick nap before video time. So here I am. I'm finally going to do a commentary on the debates from Thursday night. So, before I get started, the music you heard was a channel called BBBBBB. I never heard of it before. The name of the song was Joy Division Mochodoma Tight Beat Answers, and it's the Russian post-punk thing that's kind of trendy right now over there. It's like the 1980s over there right now. So that's why I kind of like it. So anyway, yes. So we have here on the chat line, Warren, this better be good. I'm missing a rare promo with B. Arthur and Vic Tayback for this. Oh my goodness. I never actually, I never seen them together. And so I wonder what show that would be. Let's see. I'll do that. Of course, I said I'd do my best. And Miguel, how are you doing today? And let's see, we got here. I'll be almost 10 hours. I'll be on for almost 10 hours. I'm polishing the bishop until then. Okay. You always do your best. The Willy Bragg Show. This is why we show up at every episode, and I appreciate that, Dustin Mantis. Around the world with D and friends. Hey, how are you doing today? It's great seeing you here. And let's see, we got anybody else showed up here? Let's see, do we have any new people showing up? I thought I saw some new folks here. Great Patine, how are you doing today? So yeah. Hi, how are you doing? So, welcome. I want to talk about the debate the other night. It's kind of what we expected it to be, a disaster. It was a disaster beyond disasters, and I expected it to be as such. I didn't watch it. Still really didn't watch it, yet I'm going to comment on it because I know how Donald Trump is. I know how Joe Biden is. I've seen them in action for the past decade. Well, I go, good Lord, and longer than that with damn Joe Biden going back to 2008 when he ran that time for the presidency. And I remember him going back to the year 1988 when he was just a regular idiot before the dementia. So, and I've seen his performance since he became president, and he's basically a doddering old bumbling fool, and who needs to be led here and led there. And I did hear a little bit of it. It's all I got out of this. He's toast. Donald Trump roasted him. I mean, he wasn't necessarily, for what I could tell, he wasn't necessarily as rude as he was 4 years ago. But, and in some ways, Donald Trump, he tuned down a little bit of the crazy, but some of the crazy came out of him. But he probably, I would say, for the most part, slam dunked this debate. And judging by what other people have said, and people are in panic mode. A lot of shitlibs are in panic mode. I'm not exactly popping champagne corks over the prospects of a Trump presidency. I am preparing for it. Then again, I'm preparing if Biden wins too. I mean, but I with Biden, he's the devil I know currently versus, well, the devil I will know again with Donald Trump. But he may be a very different Donald Trump. He may be a more vicious Donald Trump than he was the last time around. I mean, this Project 25 is nothing to fuck around with. So, but there's talk about what to do with this Biden problem. And in fairness, where there's talk about dumping Biden for somebody else in this ticket. But the elephant in the room is this. There's no guarantee that Trump is still going to get the nomination. I mean, he's likely to get the nomination. I think there's like a 90% chance he will be the nominee at the convention. But, you just still never know what can happen. So it's kind of within the realm of possibilities right now, July 1st, saying this, that we may see two different candidates other than Donald J. Trump and Joe R. Biden facing each other. And if they're boring candidates from both parties, maybe I will welcome that, even though I wouldn't vote for it, because honestly, it's mentally exhausting having to deal with these nitwits. And I think y'all can relate. So anyway, as I said, yeah, where do I begin? Well, I'll begin right here. If Joe Biden is replaced, and there's a lot of people talking about, Joe Biden being replaced right now. This doddering old fool. I mean, you get to see how lost he is, and the fact that he's this lost tells you everything you need to know. I mean, it's self-explanatory. I mean, you know, and they had their pride. The Democrats rather have lost to Donald Trump if Bernie Sanders was the nominee, and they didn't want Bernie Sanders. The establishment didn't, shall I say. And that's what it came down to. So I think that there is a strong possibility, if Joe Biden is replaced, that one of the top contenders would be Gavin Newsom. But I say this cautiously because Gavin Newsom is a loyal centrist, in spite of what people say across the country on the right, that he's this far left Democrat because he's from California. He would he has some positives that's going for him, but he's got a lot of negatives going against him. Now, it probably doesn't matter for a cranky old leftist like myself, my concerns, because just like in the most election cycles, when the Democrats wonder what my concerns are, not that they're worried about Willy Bragg the person, but people like me, people like y'all in my audience, they're like, well, fuck your concerns. That's how the Democrats look at all of us. But the thing is, he's young, and he probably won't put up with the bullshit from Donald Trump. I mean, he'll probably sling the mud right back. He'll probably insult him right back. Donald Trump will try his bullshit, and I think that he will throw the bullshit right back at him. He's combative. He's got that going for him. He's cocky. He's got that going for him. Somebody needs to go and put Trump in his place. We're talking about somebody who, if you got a dog in this fight and you want to go and take Trump down, he's got these things going for him. California, was it like the 7th largest economy in the world by itself? It gets a bad rap. It's much wealthier than people claim. People are leaving California. And it's true, people are leaving California. But I know a lot of people that moved to California too. And I know that there's a lot of over-the-top, politically correct stupidity that takes place in California, and that even I look at it, I'm kind of befuddled by. But let's don't pretend that Texas and Florida is the bastion of liberty and freedom, because they do it the opposite other way. And if I have to choose between Texas and California, I'd rather go to California, because at least in California there is no death penalty, and the unions are a little bit stronger in California as a little more labor friendly. It's not saying much in this country, but those are the cards that are dealt. It's a little more socially progressive, which can't be said about a place like Texas or Florida, considering that they have basically fascists for governors. What the problem would be with Gavin Newsom is he's from California, and California has this, what is perceived as an authoritarian woke reputation. There's nothing particularly wrong with being socially conscious and having a socially progressive outlook. There's really nothing wrong with being quote unquote woke if you do it correctly. If you don't go around cancel culture, doing the cancel culture against your opponents. I'm good with woke. But here's the thing. It has that reputation. So I think that that's going to be a giant mark against him. Now, for someone like me, I have something tremendously good to say about Gavin Newsom. When it comes to healthcare, Although I'm disappointed that he campaigned for single payer health care and vetoed the damn legislation when it came to his desk to sign. He did something in regard to insulin going out of control price-wise in California. He took the state government and took over insulin production to attack the costs. It's a tiny step, but it's a tiny step that in any other place, if you go to Alabama, Texas, or Florida, they call that socialism, you know? But it's a tiny step in the correct direction. And that's, by American standards, that's a bold step. So he's got that going for him. He signed the executive order to abolish the death penalty in 2019. He's got that going for him. But he's pretty much a slimy corporate Democrat otherwise. He will be very disruptive in this regard. Kamala Harris is also from California. You can't have two Californians on the ticket. You couldn't really have two New Yorkers on the ticket. You couldn't have two Texans on the ticket. You couldn't have two Minnesotans on the ticket. I suppose you could, but it would, for the balance of the country, the geographic balance, they just would not, it would just not appeal to people. So I don't think that Gavin Newsom will be, for that reason, I don't think Gavin Newsom will be the nominee, the replacement nominee, because if the likelihood is Trump could win this election, and if he loses to Trump, 2028 is shot for him. He has no way. It would be very difficult for him to do anything for the year 2028. So I don't think that he's going to. I could be wrong, but I don't think he's going to be the nominee in the year 2028. 2024. So, we got. Let's see, what do we got here? Greta Whitmer of Michigan. Now, Greta Whitmer of Michigan. Michigan is a competitive state right now. It's probably very necessary considering where she's from, because it's a swing state, unlike California, which is reliably blue. And right now, with the Middle East situation going on, the Arab community in Michigan, because there's more, the Arab population in Michigan is higher than any other part of the country. They're basically saying fuck Joe Biden, and they're not going to vote for Trump, but they're thinking about just not voting. And if Michigan goes to Trump, Biden's going to have a hard time with Michigan, or any other Democrat for that matter. It's going to be very difficult. And it's over the Israeli-Palestinian issue that could do Biden in, actually, from 3 areas. Strangely enough, the Arab votes might cause Biden to lose the election in Michigan, and 2 sections of the Jewish vote might cause Biden to lose the election. And I'll explain that briefly. I just explained what happened with the Arab votes. With the Jewish votes, they lean toward the Democrats. You got most of them that they lean toward the Hillary Clinton Democrats, that they are going to naturally lean toward Joe Biden. And some of them do not think he's pro-Israel enough. So some of them will probably go to Trump. Some of them will probably go to Robert Kennedy. And then you'll have your typical left-wing section of Jewish voters who are more critical of Israel, or very critical of Israel, that they're going to be like, well, fuck Joe Biden. And they're going to probably vote for Cornel West, or vote for glorious Jill Stein. So he could lose the Arab vote. That's a reliable Democratic part of the base. And he could lose the Jewish vote, which is a reliable part of the Democratic base in this election. The Democrats are fucked every which way till Sunday. But Greta Whitmer could very well win Michigan. I don't know how she could do. She might be able to help in places like Ohio and Wisconsin and some of these other states We don't know. But this is what's going on right now. So and she has some controversies over the handling of COVID. I do know that. And where they had made a culture war out of it. But and she's not the most left-wing Democrat around, but I would say that she's not Joe Manchin, she's not Kirsten Sinema, she's not Debbie Wasserman Schultz on the right of the Democratic Party. And I mean, obviously she's not Bernie Sanders, and she's not, well, we don't necessarily think AOC's left wing or Elizabeth Warren's left wing, but most people who are normies do. But she doesn't exactly fit into that section of the Democratic Party. She's sort of like in that generic center of the party, from what I can tell. And so in a way, she could kind of pull the various factions together in the Democratic Party, but the Republicans will work harder to try to bring her down. So one good thing about her is that when Michigan went right to work a decade ago, it was brought to my attention that right to work was abolished recently in Michigan, that Michigan is no longer a right to work state. And so as I don't vote for the two-party system, but that alone kind of impresses me. And I would say that that's one thing in her favor, and I would say she would be preferable to Biden. If one must look at the two-party system, I have a third-party choice that I'm going to go with, and all that. So, here's one for you. My dad and myself were talking about this yesterday at dinner. My parents are visiting. And there's talk from North Carolina, Roy Cooper, Governor Roy Cooper, possibly to be the replacement candidate for Biden. Now, Governor Cooper, kind of like Greta Whitmer, is not a Joe Manchin Democrat, and he's not an AOC style Democrat. He's kind of a generic middle of the road guy, probably slightly above average progressive by North Carolina standards, but doesn't really have a lot of baggage, which he has going for him. And so the Republicans are going to have a hard time trying to bring him down because there's really no baggage. I'm not for him. I'm just saying that he's there's some talk rumbling around about Roy Cooper. He's not running for re-election this year. There's a crazy man running in the Republican Party by the name Mark Robertson. And when I say he's crazy, I mean he actually makes Marjorie Taylor Greene sounds reasonable. No exaggeration. Josh Stein is running as a Democratic candidate, kind of in the similar to Roy Cooper, and I suspect that he'll win. North Carolina is a purple state. They vote Republican for president, but they love their Democratic governors. That seems to be the case here in North Carolina, and this is the arrangement they seem to like. And but the Senate, they tend to vote Republican. The House, in the U.S. House, it just depends on what part of the state you're in and all of that. But that's basically what's going on right there. They're talking about Cooper as a possible replacement candidate. So I don't know if he's up for the task, but be it as it may. And then of course, I wish she'd go on the hell away, but she keeps coming back, is Hillary Clinton. I try to find a photo of her to not make it look like I'm biased in my criticism of Hillary, but be it as it may, I'm going to criticize her. I don't like Hillary. She wanted to drone strike Julian Assange at the Ecuadorian embassy in London. She is responsible for Libya being destroyed. She is an awful person. She is a corporate Democrat. She is part of the establishment, and she's a self-centered, nasty person. She is the reason why Donald Trump is president on so many levels. She encouraged Donald Trump to run for president. She and her husband, Bill Clinton. And there's talk about having her replace Kamala Harris as the running mate for Joe Biden, or to run as a replacement candidate to Joe Biden. Now, I don't like Joe Biden, don't get me wrong, but I dislike him a hell of a lot less than I do Hillary Clinton, and I would certainly have concerns for his well-being. I won't carry that any further. Y'all can kind of draw your conclusions to what I'm trying to say. I am tired of seeing this creature always on my computer screen, on the TV, listening to her on the radio, and people talking about her. I wish she would just go away. And she won't go away. Kind of like Donald Trump. Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. He could just go away. No. He sticks around. And he'll stick around, and he'll stick around, and he'll stick around. Hillary, the fact that and what she did, I mean, is okay with Jamal Bowman down up there in New York, and George Latimer, who has ties to the Trump MAGA crew, to the Republican Party. She wanted to go after Jamal Bowman. Now I got problems with Jamal Bowman. He's a member of the squad. My problem with the squad is that the squad don't fight enough. But even though they don't fight the way I want them to fight, that's one less person in the U.S. House of Representatives that's officially for Medicare for all. That's officially for some of the basic shit that we're for. And that was a win for the corporate Democrat machine in New York. And Hillary Clinton caused that to happen, partly. I don't want to see her on that ticket, because I just don't want to have to deal. I just don't want to have to deal with my high blood pressure having this thing on the screen all the time. I lost a lot of friends in 2016 because of this bitch. And I don't want to be reminded about her. So that's kind of where I'm standing on Hillary. So let's go to Kamala, because we need to talk about Kamala for a moment too. Kamala Harris, she's just, nobody likes her. So if Biden drops out and she's the nominee, I mean, Donald Trump will win. I mean, she's just basically follow the money, and she's just another establishment Democrat. I mean, she's basically a less smart Barack Obama, female Barack Obama is what she is. And it just kind of like, I just don't, she doesn't stand for anything other than being for the establishment. I'm sure she's a nice lady in person. I don't really have anything against her otherwise, but she doesn't really, she never really impressed me. And I'm offended by the fact that she's a corporate Democrat. That probably offends me more than anything else, pretending to be so vividly progressive. And I can't and will not deal with it. Will not deal with it. So that's what we're dealt with. That's what we're dealt with this election cycle. We got to deal with these two, Joe Biden and Donald Trump, more than likely facing each other again, and that fucking sucks. So, I mean, it's just, and I'm not going to. I'm not, just like in 2020. I'm not going to go and be part of the duopoly in any way, shape, or fashion. But it's time to have a comedic take on the debates from the other night. So, what better way to do it than with our friend here on the chat line, Warren, who did a very great impression of George Galloway the other day. So, I'll let Warren take it away as George Galloway, the mother of all talk shows, Moats.
Curious about our curriculum? Have something to say? Then call us now to join the debate on the mother of all talk shows. The only education you can get for free. George Galloway, the mother of all talk shows. With George Galloway, the world is our classroom, and you're welcome to sit in and join the seminar.
Thank you, Chris. As you know, I was watching the debate between Joseph Biden, the current president of the United States, and Donald Trump, both a bunch of braggart arseholes in their own right. But I digress. It was shameful to see the haggis, the murder of such an old, frail man. He looked like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons on a 3-day meth binge with special guest fentanyl. Everyone knows that this cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs piece of crap president is no good. Everyone knows that the former president, Donald J. Trump, is also bollocks, bloody shite. It's not the lesser of two evils. It's the lesser of two senilities. And everyone knows it's Wendy, like the song says, but not Wendy's. Sometimes in the middle of the night, I have to get up because of incontinence. But at least I'm not the leader of the free world. I watched that debate on Thursday night and saw how Joe Biden and Donald Trump in a room full of nobody but two incompetent CNN propagandists. Hey, lad, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Unfortunately. Now, as we get closer to November, I have to say, for once in my life, I am speechless, yet I am still talking. I don't know how that happens, but it's happening right now, right here. Now, what will the Democrats do with this crypt keeper who seems to only function on opioids and wishful thinking? Who will replace Joe Biden as the sacrificial lamb in the Democratic Party to Donald Trump and his bulldozer? It wasn't even a debate. They looked like they were the plaintiff and the defendant on Judge Judy, a television program in America with a judge. Donald Trump could have walked in there petless, drinking Scotch whiskey with a hooker on his arm and still would have won the debate over Sleepy Genocide Joe. They were declared their party's nominee, but they did not even secure the nomination yet. That is America. That is late stage capitalism. That's all I have to say about American politics. But I will say one thing in conclusion. It does make for a good diuretic. Now I am off to go take a crap. Enjoy your haggis and don't take the shite. Rochdale, you heard?
Okay. And today's July the 1st. And you know what that means, don't you? What it means that at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, because that's what it looked like it said. I think it said Eastern Standard Time that and I lost my link for the show. I will put the link down. But Warren has a new show out. It's going to be at 10 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. So you'll get to see him do his morning show and with the news and comedy on the side. And I will put down the link. And if you haven't subscribed to his channel yet, please do so and follow him on Twitter and all that good stuff. So this is what we're here for. We're here to help each other out in this independent media space, and he deserves all the support because he does great work. I like the work he does. So anyway, great impression of George Galloway, if I may say so myself. So and I think that was a great way to sum up the debates between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. So that's just the way we have to see it. So we'll talk here on the chat line real quick, and then I have to go Betty bye because I have some stuff I have to do in the morning. So, and I have to go and be ready by 10 o'clock for the show. So let's see here. Let's see. Let me get right back to where we were earlier. Let's see. All right, I'm scrolling right back because I want to make sure I get everybody. All right. Okay, I think we were here. All right. All right. I just don't want to make sure I don't want to make sure I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. So that's basically right there. That's where we were at. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, yep. As I said, today's the big day, Miguel. Today is the big day. So and we'll start it from here. And I'm going to scroll down a little bit because I'm going to make sure everybody is taken care of. All right. All right. Let's see. All right. And Earl Laurel, how are you doing today? Right. And we have here Mouse SF. I have exceeded the numbers of greetings that my code allows for this cycle. And well, I'll say this much. How are you doing, Mouse? All right. I want to make sure, as I said, make sure everybody's taken care of here. I don't want to miss anybody here. So, and oh yeah. Oh, Daniel Sportsberry highlights. Yo, how are you doing today? All right. Okay. Let's see. Checking if there's any newbies here that popped in. And if I skipped over anybody by mistake, it wasn't on purpose. So, okay. Yes, let's see here. So y'all know what to do tomorrow. Go ahead and I want to put on the link right now. As soon as I get off the line here, I'm going to go and do a quick editing and on the description box. And so probably in about 10-15 minutes, you'll see all the information you'll see as soon as I log off. So there is that. So I guess you'll see me stream this week some more. I'm going to try to. I just have a difficult time pegged down by work lately. Yeah, I mean, literally. I'm just attached to work, and I hate it. So that's what's been going on. So anyway, what's going on Tuesday, tomorrow night, Tuesday, because it's technically Monday morning now. Tommy Nation Politics and I will be discussing whether Tulsi Gabbard is a grifter or not. We're going to be discussing that because, we're both very frustrated with her as former supporters. So, and we're going to be discussing that in relation to what her future would be. Now she's no longer Bernie Tulsi, she's now MAGA Tulsi. So, which is kind of like, wow, I'm lost for words on that one. So anyway, if you like what you heard, please press like and comment if you disagree with what I have to say. Feel free to share the content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it because we are, in fact, the muckrakers of our time. Reject corporate media. Go ahead and subscribe to the Willy Bragg Show and follow me on my other platforms, Twitch, Twitter, and Rumble. I'm going to go and make use out of Rumble, promise, very soon. And thank you for subscribing to my channel. Maybe with a little bit of diligence, we can probably get to 1,000 before maybe before October if we're lucky, but hopefully by the end of this year. I would say, but I'll go with a conservative goal of by the end of this year. But so tell your friends about this channel and encourage them to subscribe to this channel to help it grow, if you don't mind. And I will conclude by saying to free Palestine. Julian Assange is already freed, so I'm glad he's free, so I don't have to say free Assange now. So I'll say free somebody else at some point, or but I will say free healthcare. We're still needing that, and of course, free healthcare and free speech for all. Well, maybe I should say pardon Assange. He's been freed, so he needs to be pardoned. Pardon Ed Snowden. There you go. And I did say free Palestine because it needs to be freed. And I can't believe that there are people out there that think that's extreme. It's really hard to believe. So anyway, I will go and talk to you all later. And y'all take care. Bye-bye.